What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to the Random Things podcast on the Random Channel, episode 19. Today, we're going to be coming at you with a full spoiler review of Roadhouse. We're going to talk about some Ghostbusters news, Scarlet Johansson in the running for Jurassic World 4, and whatever else we can come up with. But before we get there, how are you boys doing?
Excellent.
Everybody answer all at once.
I was pretty good about
Excellent.
minutes ago before Duggan started talking about French documentaries.
I know I'm still getting fucking ready. I was running around. I was telling everybody I was busy watching a French documentary about a giant child pedophilia ring that involved like 18. What was it? It was 18 adults.
Were they normal children or giant?
It was ranging from 3-month-old to 14, but it was like parents, neighbors, a taxi driver, a baker, a magistrate,
a candlestick maker.
Dude, yeah, it was like playing Clue. Fucking France is wild. I mean, I knew they were into like some sexy shit, but it was nuts.
Is that not where the first Taken is taken?
Yeah, I think that's where the orgy was created too.
Yep.
Yeah. Gay Paris.
Oh yeah, it was some shit. This lady basically just like had kids and had sex with them, and like in the documentaries and the documents, they're talking about how only the women would use like weird ass objects, screwdrivers, spoons.
What the fuck?
Sticks. Wait, it gets crazier. They would take the kids to this farm. Listen, they would take this kid to a farm, and they would have the sheep fuck the kids, have the kids fuck the sheep, have everybody blow each other. Like everybody's just coming on each other.
Where were you watching? Wait. Where is this documentary? Was this
the dark web? It's on the dark web.
Yeah.
How do they train these kids to do this?
It's on Netflix, guys. It's on Netflix.
It's
on Netflix.
Of course it is.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
It is.
Jesus Christ!
How are they training the sheep to do this? This is like an animal training like thing I can't get out of my head.
So I didn't get into the zoology 101, David, but what I would imagine there must be some treats involved.
Yeah,
they studied them. I mean, just like Mr. Hands.
That's a good sheep.
They studied them.
yeah.
I can't imagine only how awesome it would be on the other end, like fucking like a big sweater or like a big blanket.
What are you talking about?
How many pillows you got laid around, Duggan, that we never want to touch?
No, I'm more like we discussed this. I'm more of a towel guy.
or a shower guy.
Oh, definitely the shower guy. Oh, by the way, I got yelled at by my wife. She's like, "I watched your fucking podcast. I can't believe you did it. I hate you." Like, yeah, I'm a shock jock from the '90s. That's what I'm here for.
Dude. That's crazy. Okay, because I it's just a matter of time. I know before Sarah picks one of these up, and she's gonna be like, "What the fuck? You talking shit about my gifts? You talking shit about it's literally just like a matter of time." And she could care less that I do this, and I know she'll never really watch it. But the one she does watch is gonna be one where she's like, "You talk shit about my gifts. You talk shit about me ordering the pizza for the kids' party."
It's probably gonna be this one where you make this list now. Make it
yeah, probably. But you know what? That's okay because the other ones were worse. So, oh man. So I think we should save the Roadhouse review for the end. Does everybody feel like we should do that? Kind of work
That's
out
fine with me.
I mean, I could literally talk for an hour about Roadhouse.
Right.
But we're not going to let you.
I understand.
Roadhouse.
We'll do this then. This is a good. We'll kick it off with this one because this is kind of
the bar guys.
Well, what do you mean? You mean no, I don't even want to start talking about it.
Don't dive into it.
So, John and Dan and I saw Ghostbusters Frozen Empire this weekend. We really enjoyed it. I didn't see any of the critic reviews or anything like that going into it. I was just excited to see this movie. And lo and behold, apparently the critics are destroying this movie. And it's got like a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I truly don't know why. From the trailers, it's everything that the movie is everything the trailers say it's going to be. And I know we're not going to go into details about the movies because obviously Dave and Duggan haven't seen it, but it's literally what the movie promised it was going to be. And I'm normally one who sides with the critics on a lot of stuff. But come on, this is a fucking comedy movie, like set in the world of Ghostbusters. How could it be being reviewed so poorly?
I got one question.
Yes.
Was it funny?
Yes.
Okay, that was actually one of the critiques I heard, is that it's not funny. So, like, if it's funny, then I don't know. Critics don't laugh anyways.
Well,
the real question
what's
is,
funny,
are
Dave?
these
Is
people
funny like a question, like a couple of jokes throughout the 2 hours like movie, or is it funny like fucking, I don't know, like say super bad funny, because that shit nonstop fucking funny.
I mean,
like,
it's not
what's
super bad funny, but I feel like what the critics are looking for is the funny from like the 1984 Ghostbusters, which you can't fucking do anymore. If you go back and you watch,
I would argue it's in the movie, that kind of humor.
It kind of is.
It is a little bit, but not as bad. But I mean, or maybe that's what the fucking problem is.
I'd say this is the funniest Ghostbusters movie they've released. I laughed harder at this one than I have at the other Ghostbusters, even the original. Like, I love the original Ghostbusters movie. It's very funny, but this one's got more jokes in it than that one did, and it's definitely funnier than Afterlife, which was also pretty funny. I mean,
it's really good.
Now,
Kevin,
who's
I
in this
didn't
one?
hear
Is Paul
you
Rudd in
once.
this one again?
yeah,
Yes.
Paul Rudd's in this one. He's more prominent than he was in the first one. He's got more jokes than he does in the first one. And then the supporting cast of people you haven't seen are funny in it too. Kamal Nanjiani is fucking hysterical in this movie. Hysterical. And Patton Oswalt, he's in it for just a small scene. He's hilarious in it. And I know Duggan hates Patton Oswalt.
That midget fuck.
Sorry.
We need to go to the library. Aren't we?
Are we in the library? No, this is the old library. Yeah, no. It's
Are the Stay Puft guys in it? Because I saw that commercial
Yes.
of those mini ones.
yeah, the little ones.
Yes.
That's the
the
only
little
reason I
ones.
would go see that, is for the mini guys.
Yeah,
But
they're
like
good.
I seen somebody, I seen a critique on it saying that there wasn't enough busting going on, right? And I was like, there's plenty of busting going on. I don't understand.
I heard Duffy bust at least 3 times during the movie.
Yes.
It was an audible bust.
What do you? Hey,
That's why the
busted makes me
popcorn was
feel
so
good.
Yeah.
It's like I get it. If you're, I don't get it. Actually, I'm full of shit. I don't get it at all. Because if you're you're not going into it expecting to see fucking like Hamlet. You know, it's Ghostbusters. You want to see ghosts, some eerie shit, some humor from people who are afraid of that eerie shit, and just some general like prop comedy, like fucking people getting oozed and shit. And that's what this movie did. I don't understand.
The critics were
what they
saying,
want.
like, what? It's not funny, but what's an example of that not being funny? Or what's another example? Like, what's they're complaining about?
Yeah,
I don't know.
no.
Like I said, I didn't dive into it. I just saw that I saw that the critics were destroying this movie, and I was like, how? Like, what critic went into this movie and didn't have fun? You know, it's
wondering-
capital F fun. This movie.
I'm wondering, Duffy, it's the other thing that you and I texted you quickly about, is that I think this is the year where people are going to start hating on nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. And so anything that even ties back to the 80s or 90s is going to start getting hated on a little bit. And I think
They're
maybe
in
that's
for
what
a
it
rude
was.
fucking awakening. This next
Yeah.
topic coming at the end.
Well,
I mean,
to flip it, to go.
No, you go.
Go.
You're ready.
I wasn't paying attention what the fuck you guys were saying. I was going to go back to the critics. Talk.
Go.
I was just gonna say, like, I understand. I can understand nostalgia being too much. People are like, I'm sick of nostalgia. Give me something original, right? But I feel like these Ghostbusters movies handle that passing of the torch storytelling better than any other fucking franchise that's ever tried it.
100%.
And that's like, and they do it right. So I can't believe that people, it's not like Indiana Jones fucking tagging Shia LaBeouf along. And then it's like, oh, is this kid going to be Indiana Jones? No, it's literally the old Ghostbusters are there in a limited capacity in a way that makes sense for the movie. So,
I mean, I will say this much. Afterlife stole like the Force Awakens like idea and did it better than the Force Awakens did. And so, like, I mean, it's a better version of that. It's the right mix of nostalgia, new characters, and it's a good movie in a new setting. And so, I mean, I wanted to go see this one. So, I mean, I haven't heard anything that makes me not want to see it yet.
you should see it, and I'm telling you, you should take your son John to see it. I think he would love it, and I
Wait,
think
how old is this child of yours?
Old enough.
11.
Okay.
Sure.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying the ghost
You can
is
judge my parenting afterwards.
scariest ghost in any Ghostbusters movie.
he's
ever.
freaky looking. The main ghost is freaky looking. So
Oh,
prepare.
I thought
Show
we
John
were
an
talking-
image of him and be like, this is the main ghost. But
I thought we were
I
talking
don't-
about the one that was in the enclosure and that had like the the actual ghost face and everything else, I was like,
Oh, the
that
drill
one's
mouth.
fucked me up. Yeah, I was like, that will fuck me up. I was like, no, sir. Like
My
that thing
kid will
comes out
be
of the
good.
dark. I'm like, nope.
My kid will be good. He is the kid that is obsessed with Spirit Halloween. He doesn't like to go trick or treating. He likes to stay home to make little kids cry, and then he tells me how many kids.
That's
cried
what
on
I'm
Halloween.
talking about.
And so,
Great
like, that's
goddamn
my
parenting.
son.
Nice
And-
work.
And so we'll be okay. And we even let him watch Stranger Things as a result because of all the stuff he sees from doing that.
Oh,
stuff.
no,
I
dude,
think-
Oh, yeah,
if he
he'll
saw
be
Stra-
fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, he'll
if
be
he saw
fine.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But
Top-notch parenting. Nice work. Keep after it.
it's
At
wicked
what
funny.
age? At what age do you transition a child from not being a pussy to like not, get it? 4? That's why I like John. Fucking throw him right into the pool.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all nonsense.
I
They should
watched
be scared of
Ghostbusters.
other things like the IRS, CIA.
I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife with little parts of it with Sam. Like I didn't let him watch all of it, and then I've watched most of it with Hallie now too because she wanted to see it, and she's not afraid of it. Like she was like she saw some of the ghosts. She's like, it's not that scary.
She said,
you know?
"I ain't afraid of no ghosts."
Yeah. So, I don't know. I wouldn't take them to see this new one just because that fucking ice ghost is pretty terrifying. Like, they'll have nightmares. They'll have nightmares about it. But John's old enough that he could see it, I think. So
So to jump back real quick, I did pull up some reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 44% from critics, 84% from audience.
Yep.
Such a
So
gap.
again, we have a big gap here, which tends to be true, but I feel like it's a normal gap, unlike Rebel Moon.
Yeah, there's no one's attacking that audience score to try and get that fucking
Yeah.
padding up. Like that's
But the
I've been
first
sending
one,
fucking
top
stern emails
critic,
all week.
Mark Kermode, said it's like the scriptwriters just devoured some plates of Ghostbusters stuff and went barf. None of it makes any sense.
What?
And I also saw some other things saying scattered storylines, undercooked ideas, stuff like that. And I don't understand where they're coming from on that because I feel like there was one storyline.
Yeah, there was plenty of breadcrumbs go from
So
one thing to the next.
one of the critiques I did see was somebody said that it's like, do you remember the 1980s or it might have been 90s, the Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters cartoon show?
Yeah.
How they were just random ghosts of the week and they didn't always make sense ghost wise why they popped in. They said that this felt like a movie version of one of those episodes, which I agree. It kind of did because there's really like all of a sudden this ghost shows up, like in the backstory for this ghost shows up, but it's not like it doesn't tie into Ghostbusters.
But they're in a completely different city than they were in Afterlife.
I know
They're
yeah.
in New York City now.
You can't do
like
Gozer every time. You
Nebraska.
can't do fucking Vigo every time.
Yeah.
So like,
Although I would have loved to see Vigo, just to be clear. Like, bring me back Vigo.
That one
I'm
critique,
gonna kill another person. I'm telling you, Vigo's dead.
that
The actor who plays
critique,
Vigo?
Duffy,
Yep, let's
Oh,
find out now.
for
Now I gotta find
sure.
out if I killed
the
another
actor who plays,
person. I don't wanna know.
I would probably
weeks in a
agree the
row.
actor who plays Vigo is dead.
all I know is that one critique you just read out, Duffy, makes me want to see it more. That was a good ass Saturday morning cartoon.
It was
I enjoyed
awesome.
I love
Like,
it.
what were they trying to sell me on it? Like, what is this critic sucks?
I'm also-
anything sucks.
I'm also confused about that because the fact that you're supposed to have a rhyme or reason why ghosts show up. What the fuck are you talking about? Right?
I don't know. Like I said, it's fucking Ghostbusters. I thought it was a lot of fun. My kids wouldn't have got most of the jokes because they're definitely like, I mean, there's a sex dungeon joke, so it's fantastic and it's hilarious, and it goes on for just long enough that you're like, this is perfect.
Yep.
And then but they wouldn't have got that. But you know what? Maybe you can have fun explaining that one to John after he sees it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm sure. I
So-
agree. We said
You know,
Stranger Things.
you'd be
There's
like,
tentacle porn in that thing.
Yeah,
at the
you're
end
like,
of
you
it,
know,
so.
your mom and I used to have a sex dungeon.
In fact, we gave you our sex swing. It's down the basement.
Oh,
This swing looks funny. Why is there a
So-
hole cut in the seat?
So Dan,
There's
is
multiple
Vigo dead?
holes.
Yeah, Vigo died in 2004, but
Oh,
do you know what his actual name is?
Vigo.
It's the most German fucking name on the face of the planet.
Hans.
Wilhelm von
Hold on.
Homburg.
Wilhelm
Wilhelm.
von Homburg.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
that's
guy
pretty.
sounds like a top-notch Nazi bad guy.
But he
I
has
was
an
gonna-
AKA. Apparently, he went by Norbert Group.
What?
Norbert Grouper.
Norbert Group.
That's not even better.
No,
Oh
I would have
my
been. I
God.
would have rather been Wilhelm von Homburg.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you said it's the most German name, I thought you were going to say it's Hitler von Hitlerstein or something like that. But that's pretty
No,
good.
that's the most Nazi name.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's true.
It's true.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. All right. We'll move on to our next topic here. So, Jurassic World.
Scar Jurassic.
Yeah, sorry about that. The pun was too good. But they've been doing every fucking Jurassic Park movie comes out and makes money. They always do. They're never gonna stop making these fucking movies. But they're resetting, not like the time, they're not sort of reboot, but they're picking up from where that last movie ended, jumping in with new characters. And apparently Scarlett Johansson is going to be your main character in this new iteration of these movies moving forward. What do we think about this?
Where'd they lead off from the last movie?
Yeah.
Is Chris
The
Pratt's
dinosaurs
character
were being rounded up and brought to like a refuge in like Colorado or something. And
Because what they really need to have happen is them fucking start tearing up cities. That's where it needs to come down to.
I think that's where it feels like it's going.
I feel like that last movie was the one they were gonna do that in, and then they kind of fast forwarded to rounding them up and putting them places. So
Bro,
I don't
imagine fucking like raptors just running down fucking Beverly Hills Drive, just fucking
Just
murking
jacking a
people.
motherfucker.
Oh
Just
my
being
god!
like,
Oh,
person just got their latte and just getting racked by a fucking
oh my
raptor.
god! I can see
I'm
it.
Excellent.
The
This is
cameos
horrible.
would be amazing.
This
All
is
the humans
horrible.
have to move to Canada
I'm
and
picturing
Russia.
like a mother with like a baby like carrier, like putting them in the back
Absolutely.
seat, and then like all of a sudden she looks up and a fucking like ink is shot in her face from like the back seat of the.
That'd be excellent.
Or
Absolutely
like
excellent.
a girl's walking with her little dog, and the purse gets taken away, and the dog's in the bag.
As long as it's like
That
a
fucking
pterodactyl
dinosaur
that
stole
grabs it,
the
and it's like
dog
a
and my
flying
wallet.
one.
Yeah,
So I want the scene from the dog's view as it's like getting flown around the city.
I mean, I think she's a good choice. Truthfully, I mean, she's kind of attached herself to some shit franchises when she goes off on her own, but then she does good solo movies sometimes. So it's like, I don't know.
Name one.
Yeah,
Name one.
I just mean like I
Under
don't
the
know, like,
skin.
under her skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, boy.
I've only
I
seen
like
the
your
one scene. I'm like
style.
you, Duggan, I'm sure.
Oh, I jerk off to that nonstop.
In the shower.
Yeah.
what's under her skin?
Jizz.
Some Scottish indie movie where she's naked.
Is that the one where she got? Is that the one where she got black hair?
I
No,
think so.
but a big black pool.
It's like Species, but in Scotland.
She's like an alien, and she just seduces men to get into this pool naked, and then she just dunks them, and then she fucking absorbs them. Kind of
Oh,
fucking
so you
weird.
saw the movie. I didn't even go that far. I
Oh,
just
Just
saw
watch
the scene.
the naked scenes.
He set
all right,
the phone to private browsing and said, "Oh,
Don't tell the wife.
I
What's
mean,
a
the
private
image
browser?
I got. The image I chose for this video, like of her, is like top notch. I mean, she's so fucking hot. It's-
I mean, I think she could be fine as a lead in that movie. I think you're right. They're going to keep making them. I don't think they have stories to tell, though.
Jurassic tits.
seriously, holding the raptor
I
like.
don't, I don't know if you did that on purpose, but you literally just showed her cleavage. That was like the only thing you
yeah,
showed.
he did it on purpose."
100% on
What we
purpose.
all
I
need
found
to
that.
see.
I saw that photo and she had like a little pad of paper in her hand, and I'm like, I'm putting a raptor in there just to showcase that. Look, but no,
So
she's
Is she gonna be the smart doctor type or like the gritty doctor type?
well. That's a good question. So
She's not
I
gonna
don't
be a
want her to be
doctor
a
at
doctor.
all.
I don't want her to be a doctor at all. I want her to
Exactly.
be. I want her to be someone who just stumbles across a situation where she's now being either chased or needs to escape from a place that's overrun with dinosaurs.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like if you did like Dawn of the Dead with dinosaurs and she was the lead, that'd be a fun movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down.
Before the last Jurassic World movie came out, there was a small, like, not independent. The director of the movie released it, but it was like a small, like, mini, like 10-minute film that he did where, excuse me, called like Battle at Big Rock, and it's about a family that's camping, and then fucking dinosaurs wander into the camp as they're there. Like a whole bunch of families are there, a bunch of RVs and shit. And they're like, oh shit, look at this fucking dinosaurs. But they were like herbivores, so it's not a big deal. But then a fucking like, not a T-Rex, but something a little smaller stumbles in and they're like, oh shit, oh John, you're being attacked by ghosts.
Fucking might turn the light off me.
Lights out.
And that's terrifying. That scene is terrifying. Like this thing starts to like come at their fucking their camper, and their baby's still strapped in the fucking high chair, and it's like it's wicked scary. And I was like,
That's the first thing gone.
Dude, if this was the next Jurassic Park movie, I was like, oh shit, this movie's gonna be fucking great if that's what they're gonna tell. But they didn't tell that story. So I don't know.
What was Jeff Goldblum's profession in that first one?
Mathematician.
Yeah, mathematician.
He was a mathematician.
A chaostician.
Chaostician.
Can ScarJo be a reprise role from Jeff Goldblum?
His daughter.
Just be that like job profession.
I mean, if they were to make this Jurassic Park into a horror movie, I mean, I'd be all about it. I think that'd be fantastic.
They won't, because then because the only way you would make a good Jurassic Park horror movie would be if it was rated R, and then you're going to alienate half of your viewers.
Does it have to be though? I mean, the raptor scene in the original movie, it was the closing scene with Alan Grant and the kids hiding, is basically a horror scene. And they were able to do that whole scene with no gore, no nothing, and nobody even died. And like, it's one of the better.
Right. So you're going to have a horror movie where nobody
That was
dies?
the 90s.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying like you could create elements of it where you could do it where you don't actually have to go full like Friday the 13th.
Plus, fuck kids, bro. There's so many more people 18 and above than fucking children. Fuck out of here. We want a movie that is not 3 hours long talking about creation of eggs and DNA.
I'll tell you what.
See people get killed.
Give me another clever girl guy, and that's what I want. I want a clever girl.
Clever girl.
I'll tell you what, that fucking Mosasaurus or whatever it's called, the thing that got unleashed into the ocean that's like eating fucking tankers and shit. That thing's terrifying. Give me a whole movie
in that
with like the
fucking
US
ride.
government's like, we need to take this fucking thing out. It's killing everybody. Like,
wasn't that Pacific Rim? No.
No, that was Megalodon or the Meg.
the
The Meg 1 and 2.
I believe you're referring to Sharktopus.
Oh.
Sharknado.
Sharktopus is great. That's got what's his face in it? Julia Roberts' brother, Eric Roberts.
I gotta see
Eric
that
Roberts is the guy who's trying to take out the Sharktopus.
I mean, the Sharknadoes are amazing with the dude from 90210. So I mean, I'm down for that one.
Yeah,
Ian
Ziering.
Ziering. Yeah, he kills it.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Except Tara Reid is so fucking bad in that movie.
Oh, she's
like,
so bad.
She's
Name a movie
brain.
she's good in.
American Pie. She was good in the first one.
Oh
No,
Yes, she was. Yes,
Go back and watch. Go back and watch American Pie as an adult.
She's fucking terrible.
Listen,
good to look at.
She is
Terrible.
better in that movie than she is now as an older actress in other movies.
Yeah, I'm
Who's
just saying.
better?
Name a
Mariah
movie she
Carey
was
or
good in. I
Megan
didn't
Fox?
say name the best movie. Name the best she did. The movie she did best in.
That is kind of what you just said. You said name a movie.
Still terrible.
She's
terrible,
good in,
but
she's
better.
good compared to how she is.
But good isn't better, right? I mean, I'm sorry, better. Like she could have been shit, and she'd still be better than she is.
She's good in The Big Lebowski.
What?
I'll give you that.
Okay, there you go.
I'll give you that. The Knutsons.
Brant can't watch her. It's going to be an extra 500. I forget what she says, but yeah. So I'm all for this for Scar Jurassic World. I hope that's what they call it. So.
Or what if it's Jurassic Trailer Park? That'd be
I
good
think
too.
it should be Jurassic Galaxy.
Excellent. Absolutely.
Yeah. Jurassic Trailer Park. Let's do it.
I actually want it to be something along the lines of kind of, again, it would be crazy to do it this way, but a whole section of the United States has been quarantined off because of these fucking dinosaurs, right? And it's not very different from like getting trapped in the park, really, but like she crash lands or something with some survivors of whatever, and like they gotta get out of the area.
Wasn't that
It's
Jurassic
simple.
Park 3?
Realistically,
2?
that place would be
3?
Australia. They would just dump those fucking things on Australia and be like, we're never going to go here again. This place is already full of dangerous.
And the
Mad Max-
Australians
Mad Max
would still
Fury Road,
fucking live
but
there.
with dinosaurs.
They're like,
I was
yeah, there's some problems here, but mate, we got no issues. We gotta
I
go
was thinking it was-
ride them around.
I thought it was gonna be Florida. I really did. I thought you were gonna say Florida. I mean, just everyone wants to pin off this state, anyways. I mean,
Oh man. Well,
See,
Florida.
I think Florida is a valuable resource, and it's like a deterrent for other countries. They're like, we don't want to invade the United States because Florida's a problem.
it exists.
It exists. They got people there that shoot bullets into hurricanes to try and stop them from coming.
Hold on. This is good. I'm sorry. I should have seen this message earlier. Good on Jeff Smith for tuning in every time we go live. I love this guy.
Absolutely.
This must be in regards to our German friend from Ghostbusters. So,
Wilhelm von Hamburg.
he was born in Berlin in 1940. Not ideal.
Yeah, that's a tough going.
He
must have had
probably
it
has
so
a
easy
sordid
growing up.
past.
Yeah.
What an easy life that guy had.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, it couldn't have been that bad. He ended up as being Vigo. I mean, he was in a
He got
major
blown
motion
into the
picture.
right side of the wall.
Was that the highlight of his career?
Well, the
Holy shit, he was in Die Hard.
The
Yeah,
Norbert,
I know, he was the
our
bad guy.
alternate name makes a lot of sense now. I'll be honest.
Who is he? Wait. In the first Die Hard?
Yeah, James. That narrows it down.
Is he the tall blonde guy?
He was the bad
No.
guy.
No.
No,
No, he
that's
was
like
not the blind
Fabio.
guy.
Bill
The
Hahn von
blonde
Liechtenstein.
German.
Yeah, who the fuck is James?
He must have been. He's got to be one of the short-haired.
Dog.
Is he the guy that dies when he's cutting the fucking? He's trying to trip the circuit breaker in Die Hard.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Oh
great.
man.
You know what's amazing is I'm gonna. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He's definitely one of the fucking terrorists. But
Yeah. He's like, well, James is fucking dead.
that narrows it down. I'm gonna have to cut this part out and attach it to the Ghostbusters part when I do the breakdown later. But all right. Well, speaking of
Killed-
Florida, speaking
He's
of
killed
Florida,
in C4 explosion along with Alexander.
speaking of Florida, it's a good segue over to our Roadhouse movie review. Now,
right.
Here
Roadhouse
we go.
Roadhouse dropped this weekend. We debated it on the show when the trailer dropped if we thought it would be any good. Not all of us had good feelings about this movie from the first initial that it was getting made or the trailer. But I said I would go into this and watch it and maybe I'll enjoy myself. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think this movie from the opening scene and the end of the movie is a real turd. But the middle, I found myself being like, I don't hate this movie. I don't know why. But it ends terribly and the beginning is horrible. So I think I don't know what that tells you about this movie from my perspective, but I want to get into it with you guys. Tell me what your initial thoughts were on Roadhouse. Duggan.
So, as you guys know, as a big proponent of this fucking movie, I've been pushing it for hardcore. I think it will win many, many, many awards, including Conor McGregor's Best Supporting Actor role.
Go
really
fuck
push,
yourself.
really pushing for that one.
Yeah, the Lucky Charms man. I got you.
Hey, just because he's Irish, that doesn't mean
No,
shit, right? That don't mean shit.
He's frozen.
You know, I'm so appalled by that.
It wasn't even like him being Irish. It was literally how he delivered every Irish line, like he was his own like parody of himself.
He's a fucking terrible actor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrible.
dude, just awful.
But did you want him to be any better than he was? Because I'm not gonna lie, I think he, as bad as he was, and I will admit he was bad in this movie. I found myself laughing every time he was on screen in a good way. I was like, this guy, he's giving it everything he's got. He can't act, but he doesn't give a shit.
Dude, he never unflexed his shit. He was always walking around like this.
I don't know much about him, but is that just how he walks?
No, he
That's
walks
okay.
like a normal person sometimes.
No,
that
that's his walk. That's like his.
Yeah,
like,
but that's not
Dude,
like
no,
if
it's
he's just
fucking
walking
not.
down the street, he's not walking like that. That is like his like persona when he's fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Duggan had to bail.
So,
He'll be back.
I watched it twice. In the second time I was watching it, I thought to myself, what if we cut out 99% of McGregor's dialogue? And instead, you just had a mostly silent person with that creepy ass fucking smile. I swear to God, the movie would have been better, and he would have been a scarier foe at the end of it.
Hang on. Before anybody says anything, I shit you not. At work today, I said to John, I said, there's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where Jean-Claude Van Damme is a mute. It's like a new action movie. I said, I could see Conor McGregor being cast in an ensemble movie where he was a mute, and I could see myself really enjoying him as an actor in a movie like that. You just basically pitched the exact same thing.
Yeah. But imagine, like, the end when he. Sorry, never mind. It was no spoilers, right?
No, we can do spoilers.
No, full spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Spoil this movie.
All right.
This movie sucks.
Sorry, that was Ghostbusters. So at the end, where he walks up to Billy Magnuson and snaps his neck. Before he snaps his neck, he says, "What do I gotta do to shut you up?"
Yeah.
Just take that out. He just walks up. The guy's telling him to kill him. He just walks up and he's just like, pops his neck, and then he goes back and he's gonna stab him. Like, stuff like that. Like, he has some stuff. Like, I mean, like, do we really need the how about a dance? I love this fucking song. I hate this fucking song.
I always
Where
want to
the
go
fuck
clubbing.
did everybody go?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And look, we got our own little octagon. Who taught you shapes?
The middle of this movie.
That was awesome. That was a good one.
The middle of this movie had me. I was like, I don't care how crazy Conor McGregor is, and like I understand maybe it's a disservice to the original Roadhouse, which I'm not allowed. This is probably gonna be a hot take. I don't even really like the original Roadhouse. It's okay. It's okay.
Dare you, sir?
But it's not one of my go-to 80s movies. It's not for me. It isn't. So
if you're canceled tomorrow, you know what did it. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shock you right now.
Yeah.
I watched the Roadhouse remake twice before I've ever seen the original Roadhouse.
Oh, Dan.
I watched the original Roadhouse today, and I have a couple things that I will say. First of all, in the remake, there are several nods to the original, and I commend that.
Like the Double Deuce restaurant?
The Double Deuce.
Which is a terrible name for a restaurant.
No, it's terrible.
You're going to eat here so much that I have to shit
The person
twice.
that owns the Double Deuce is Frank. The person that owns the Roadhouse is Frankie.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But then at the end of the original Roadhouse, when he's fighting Brad, whatever the fuck his face is, old man Brad, after he crushed his buddy with a bear,
I love that.
Brad takes a spear and he chucks it at him. And in the end of the remake, you have Billy Magnuson's character with a fucking fishing spear. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Little nods here and there. There's a couple other ones that I
Did you
can't
catch
remember.
the be nice that came out of McGregor's mouth of all fucking people in that last fight scene? You know, the nod to Swayze's intro as he's giving people their 3 rules.
I didn't hear him say be nice. McGregor said be nice.
He says be nice in that fight scene. And so, like, that's a nod to Swayze's 3 rules.
I have a question in the original Roadhouse. When what's-his-face's house blows up and Swayze, like, just finished banging whatever her face is, he just casually jumps out of a window.
Yeah.
Yes. Second story of the barn. He just fucking jumps out of it.
He just casually jumps out and runs over and pulls a guy out of a house that exploded, and somehow he is unharmed.
Yeah.
He landed on top of the stables and ran across the stables and jumped off those. It wasn't like he just went off the second story down. He went second story, stables, ground.
He casually jumped out of a second story window.
I'm pretty sure that door opens to just the open air.
It's a barn.
No, there's definitely like a tin roof. Because remember the part where him and the doctor fuck, and then
the barn door
she
opens.
wakes up and the door is open and she sees him sitting on the tin roof, and then she goes out, sits next to him, and then they fuck again on the tin roof, and Brad's across the river watching creepily from his front deck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's in plain view, what do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he just casually jumped out of a window, ran into a house that exploded, found a dude that somehow didn't explode, and was like, "We're all good."
I mean, one of the problems I have with this movie, and is the name of the movie, because it's actually completely they could have made it a completely independent movie that wasn't called Roadhouse, that didn't have any of those nods, and it would have been the same fucking movie, and I probably wouldn't have the same vitriol that I have towards it, because there's absolutely nothing that really is related to the Roadhouse movie at all outside of those nods. Like that to me, it was like pointless nostalgia, and it was like, we don't know how to make people watch this movie, so we're going to call it Roadhouse. Is kind of how I felt about this movie.
I feel like they missed the opportunity for having Dalton in the new one come from Jasper instead of Missoula, Montana.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have.
That.
Yeah,
I think that's actually where he's fucking going. I think he's actually heading
scene.
back that way.
Yeah.
I think that if there's a sequel made to this movie, right, he's hopping on a bus and heading back towards the American Midwest, and he's going to go ahead and be a cooler as he's going to different places, and he's going to go ahead and develop those skills, and then you're going to have a Roadhouse 2 in the original area.
I agree with you. I think this movie, it probably isn't, but I thought when I was watching this movie, this is the start of the legend of Dalton the bouncer or the cooler, because this is the first bar he's gone to clean up, and it's going to lead to him being that Swayze character from the original Roadhouse. Now, the movie did nothing to confirm that or pitch that to me, but I thought that when I was watching it. I'm like, I could see that because how everybody in the original Roadhouse like, that's fucking Dalton, dude. Everybody knows who that is. And they kind of do that to Jake Gyllenhaal's character this because he's a UFC fighter or ex-UFC fighter. But like
for ex-murderer.
Everybody's like, that's terrible. The most famous bouncer of all time.
Well, how about the fact that they turned Dalton into a fucking sociopath, right? Like from the first movie, he's like, from the first movie, you sit there, you watch it, and you sit there and you see this one, you're like, hey, you like being beaten in the face, and you sit there, you're like, haha, yeah. And then I get angry, and then I go ahead and I collapse your fucking trachea and watch you drown in the pool after I shoot you in the chest twice, and then smack a cop in the back of the head with a fucking stick.
So John, I got a question. I got a question for you here. Let's go without the sociopath thing. How about in this? How do they go from Dalton in the original movie being a qualified professional with a resume that does this places to a homeless ex-fighter with no qualifications?
I hear you, right? But my thing was like she originally went to that fucking bar to pick up Post Malone.
Yeah, okay.
I think she just wanted somebody that was tough, dude, could take a punch, and could punch harder.
Looking at Post Malone's fight, right, in that little pit that they had, right? Every single, I don't know why they did it. It looks horrific, right? Every single one of the hits, the punches, his kicks, everything's slow like they should be, and all of a sudden they're sped up until the point where they actually is about to hit them. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Please, I think that guy, I think the bald guy actually let Post Malone punch and kick him every fucking time.
You think it was a real hits?
I think they were real hits because that guy was huge.
Oh.
And I think they sped it up because, I mean, he may have been pulling his punches, but I think he was actually fucking landing them.
I bet Post Malone brought him out for breadsticks from Olive Garden and ice cream.
Yeah. I got a question for everybody. Did they fuck on that sandbar?
Oh, yeah. Or on the boat at the very least.
Well, I don't know, because when she dropped him back off, they were both very wet. They were both
saying they didn't roll around in the water a little bit, you know?
I mean, they were just sitting there, and then they started making out, and then all of a sudden, flash forward. I want to know, where were the tits? Because there's a ton of tits in the original.
Dude, who lets their ex-girlfriend take their fucking boat?
She just stole it. That's a joke.
No shit that she stole it, right?
Hoyt Ambrose. That's who.
Then Dalton takes it and blows the fucking thing up.
Some cop's gonna be really pissed at me. Like he pressed the button.
It's in
Duggan,
water.
I feel like you want to start defending this movie because you're chomping at the bit here. What do you got in defense of it? Because
White Pulse is at a fucking 190. I'm so mad at all of you. I'm like, I've been sitting here steaming for the last 10
Why?
minutes.
I told you, I like
can't wait to
like
hear
the,
it.
I
I
like
haven't
the
even
middle of
said
this
it.
movie. I
Why?
hate the
First
end.
of
I
all,
hate the beginning.
this is a gangbang against me. All four of you. So all four of you can go fuck off.
No,
I hadn't
Where's the
gotten
rebel
to
mood?
actually
All I
get
heard
that.
from the
I want to
fucking
hear
chat
more.
was how bad this movie was. Bad this movie was. Then all of a sudden, you guys turn into a circle jerk talking about nostalgia and titties. All right, what do you expect this fucking movie to be? It's a jabroni fucking movie. You should know this going into that.
Duggan, I
No,
haven't said
it's my turn to
anything
talk. You
about.
shut the fuck up. I listen
I
to
haven't
you
said
talk.
anything about me not liking it.
No.
I watched it twice.
Yeah, you
liked it.
watched it twice for fucking nitty pieces that you were connecting, and you actually realized that you did like this fucking movie. So when we vote on it later, I want to hear you say at least an 8 out of a 10. Right?
I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. It's worth a watch.
First of all, with the fucking fighting scenes, it's CGI. No one's getting rapid punches in the face. Second of all, Post Malone is a musician. He's not some fucking athlete. That's why it looks like shit when he's throwing those punches. What do you expect him to do? If he was to get in shape, maybe he wouldn't notice those bitch ass titties that he had, and it would have looked a little more realistic.
Think
Like,
anybody else?
Down the line with everything. Yeah, this movie is called Roadhouse, and it's supposed to be a take on it. But think about the fucking first one. It was just some dude. He was a bouncer out of fucking left field. There was no backstory in him. At least there was some backstory on Gyllenhaal. Yeah, he was a dude. He was rich and famous. He got sent to the outskirts because he murdered somebody. That is at least something that you can deal with. What other bullshit fucking things did you guys have to say? I don't know.
Make them up. Let's go.
I like
The thing.
Listen, I like the middle of this movie. I told you, it's just the beginning and the end. I hated the Post Malone shit. I feel like you could have got any actor, any fighter to be in that scene, but like the fact that it was Post Malone took me out of it. I'm like, why the fuck is he here?
This was definitely a paid fucking movie. Conor McGregor definitely paid money to survive fucking 8 stabs to the chest. And yeah, Post Malone probably paid to be in this movie too. But you have to have that expectation that this was supposed to be a guy's movie. Joe, the things that fucking disappointed me is that they really could have went balls to the wall with this. Maybe they could have shown some titties like Jen said. That would have been cool. But I really want to see. I really want to see people get the shit kicked out of them. There should have been more. It should have been over the top aggressive. Like someone's getting eyes gouged
The
out.
arm break wasn't over the top for you.
That was pretty gruesome.
I'm talking about some shit. Like this guy is he clearly doesn't give a shit about murder. So, and he was only in it for like the big fights, fucking around with JD Pardero's crew and whatnot. But it's like, if they could have at least had this been more of a deadlier guy than him teaching fucking young kids how to be bouncers. So, Kevin, when you were saying like this was like the backstory, completely agree, 100%. This man's making his way to old Patrick Swayze, and this was just the root of it.
Dalton commits fucking manslaughter by crocodile and doesn't get arrested.
I loved that scene. Loved that scene.
Nobody gives a shit about JD Pardero.
He was terrible.
He was a horrible person. I thought that scene was
not
so
a person.
Great. I
terrible
couldn't believe
actor.
it. I couldn't. I mean, I knew we'd see the crocodile at some point, but when it actually ate that man, I was like, "Holy shit!"
God is damn dog.
Crazy. Like the one piece of evidence that would have like exonerated Dalton, he threw in the fucking water. Yeah. It's like he tried to fucking shoot me. He's like, in the water it goes.
Yeah,
the crocodile.
But the old Chinese boatman was there. He heard the whole thing.
Yeah, this was a lawless place on the Keys, John. There is no police. This is just fucking law and order.
The bookstore girl and her dad are complete throwaway characters. They have no like you can take them. You can take them out of the fucking. You could take them out of that fucking story altogether, and it would have been the money would have
gone nowhere.
Well, they needed to have a Sam Elliott replacement, so apparently that's who they chose because
terrible.
They need to show him to have
a harbor master or the bookstore guy.
The bookstore guy and his daughter. They were basically they turned into the Sam Elliott replacement.
They are
because the only reason he goes psycho.
Yeah, Dalton doesn't
with
kill
the bookstore and the girl.
Dalton doesn't kill anybody until after Sam Elliott gets murdered, and so the bookstore family was supposed to be that like but I mean I don't like I said that was actually a kind of throwback to an 80s movie that I didn't mind. There's always those turns in movies where it's like, look, I'm turning the cheek until somebody that I care about gets killed. And I know he has no business to care about these people, but it's a kid, you know? Well, so I didn't mind that.
So here's like where I go with it, right? Like they didn't have time to tell that story because they did all the useless UFC shit that really didn't have anything to do with what was happening in Florida. It really didn't. It was
You
just
talking
like
about the boat dreams?
Shit.
Like his
What's that?
flashbacks.
Yeah, his
Boat
UFC, his boat dreams, all that
I mean,
shit. Where
his fucking
all
whole
those
backstory,
excuses, all
why
those
he's an
excuses to
animal,
show Jake Gyllenhaal shirtless. So
the
he could show
main
off his
fucking
ass.
reason of the story. Yeah, that's right.
But-
We didn't need that.
They
No,
did
you don't-
more
you don't-
in the original Roadhouse. They do more with Patrick Swayze not saying shit and just talking about how to be a bouncer, and then having Sam Elliott come in the middle of it and actually.
That's
have
not
a
what this
full
is about.
relationship.
That's not what this movie is
Again,
about.
They did more without having to say shit. They had to paint all this exposition in there that had nothing to do with the goddamn movie that was.
I actually think that. So let me
Unqualified
defend.
asshole wouldn't have even made.
Let me defend-
Got fired from the original Roadhouse. I'm gonna
Let
put
me
it out there.
defend.
It's
let
not
me
even
defend-
about the original Roadhouse. It's completely different. It has the inflictions of Roadhouse.
Let me
It should've
defend this
never
for a
been
second.
called this.
Hold on.
It never
Let me
should've
defend
called
this movie
it.
for a second.
It
I
should be
think
called the Roadhouse.
I don't even think they don't spend that much time with his backstory though. The flashes are pretty quick. Like if they spent like 6-7 minutes actually diving into it, I would agree with you. But
I'd
it
say
was a
total
couple.
screen time would probably be 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's pretty
me
quick.
too.
I don't mind that. And like I said, it's not the 80s anymore. So you truly just having a guy show up like Patrick Swayze with no backstory other than Sam Elliott like dropping like, well, I fucking know him and this is why. Like that shit doesn't fly anymore either. So I'm not
Movies
sure
were
that
better.
would have worked for this movie.
Movies
Well,
were
we all know
better
Dave
when they
Hampton
did
is
that.
trapped in the 80s.
I'm just saying the movie is better. It does more with less dialogue in that beginning scene because you see that he is somebody who understands how bars work. Again, this is just a homeless fighter that's never worked in a bar that's going to clean up the bar. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. And then the other problem I have with this whole get up is this movie would never happen today because everybody posting on social media and that bar be closed the next day. This is not fucking happening. This movie is faker than like fucking Star
I'll say
Wars
this. Hold on.
because of that shit.
This
I
piano's
think
out
this-
soon.
Yeah, it's total
This
fantasy land.
piano's
We
out
gotta make
soon.
up a fake place in Florida that doesn't exist.
Fucking
This is
terrible.
happening nowhere in the United States. Everyone's a
Hey, if
pussy
you're
now.
so off key, it doesn't even fucking register on my ear pitch because I can't
Last
hear.
key?
It's
Listen.
fucking crazy.
I think that this is a critique I have of the movie. I think that bar was so fucking nice and like so cool. I can't imagine that bar wouldn't be like central, like that. Even if you were trying to build a resort in that area,
Right.
you'd be like, no, I'm gonna keep the fucking bar. That bar's
Yep.
sick. I
I
feel
mean, like I might buy it and make it like maybe a classier joint, not a Roadhouse.
even if you can't buy it, I feel
Or-
like that adds color to the
Yeah,
area.
They could have definitely built
Absolutely.
around it.
Exactly. That bar was so sick that I truly can't believe maybe it's again, I don't live in Glass Key, Florida. So for all I know, nobody goes to this place. But
I hear it's right next to Mar-a-Lago.
if there was a bar like that in my town, I'd go to it every fucking day because it's
Well,
wicked
to Duggan's
Oh, yeah.
point, there was literally nothing a mile to the left, nothing a mile to the right. Why the fuck did they have to build through it?
That's
Yeah, they
the
could have
point.
just.
And then
built
if you
around
look at the model, the resort is like 2 miles down
On
the
the-
beach.
peninsula.
And then
Yeah.
they cover over the fact that the beach off of the porch for the Roadhouse is just all coral reef. So nobody's fucking swimming there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I get that. I understand that. But I'm going to say something that's going to piss some people off. I like it better than the original Roadhouse.
Can we establish who the real winner in this entire movie is? Right? Do you
It's
guys
who?
understand who that is?
the
It's
winner?
Big Dick. Big
Big-
Dick wins.
Oh, big.
He's
dick.
been taking money from the fucking guy pushing people out, right? And at the end of it, he doesn't have to worry about anybody saying shit because the fact that he pushes everybody out.
That's true.
Big Dick wins the fucking game the
Yep.
entire way.
That's
It does,
right.
right? If anything, this is a Big Dick success story. I'm
How
just
long
saying.
have you been waiting to throw that one in there?
He
The
did.
entire
He
time
does
the
get out
Nuggets
scot.
have
I
been
mean, think
going
about it. Everybody who knows that he's corrupt is dead.
He even gets the homeless derelict out of town and away
Right.
from his daughter. You're 100% right. Big Dick
Right.
wins.
Big
Yeah.
Dick is the Big
Big
Dick
Dick.
wins.
This
in
is the story not about Dalton, but about the Big Dick winner,
Yeah.
and that is Big Dick. What is Big Dick's first name?
Big.
I swear to God, I thought like the actor they cast to play Big Dick was dead in that intro scene where like they're just having him look forward. I'm like, did they just get like some dead guy to sit there? Like, what the fuck is this?
It's a weekend at Bernie's situation.
Exactly. Exactly.
I thought for sure that was it, when that scene happened. I thought for sure that was going to be the dad who's in prison that like
Yes.
the corrupt cops took out of prison for him to have a conversation with Dalton. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then it was just the cop, and I was like, what the fuck?
I was actually half expecting CGI Swayze to like be like the cameo there or some fucking shit. Like you're like, what is
Swayze
happening here?
big dick. Dude, it was just great.
I like the slap fight in the beginning of that movie. I thought that was really
That's a
cool.
good scene.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'll give it
He
that.
slapped the shit out of those dudes. He's like, "Oh, are you sorry? Are you okay? I just slapped you." And then he hits him again, and he slaps them all. And that one kid that was like, "I don't want to be here, man."
Yeah,
I
that's
love
so
that guy.
funny.
Yeah,
He is
so
the most
funny.
likable character I've seen in a movie in a while.
I'll give this movie one nod right now. The fight scenes are better. It's better fighting. Like you watch Patrick Swayze's like not even like Daniel Sung kick in like
Oh,
the
yeah.
first movie. You're like, oh gosh, Patrick Swayze really can't fight. Like at least Jake Gyllenhaal looks like he can handle himself.
Yeah,
And like and even Sam Elliott with his bare knuckle boxing in the first one. I love the first movie. It's fun. There are some really cool scenes in there. As a bouncer, we even use those. Like you take a guy's knees out, he can't do shit. He's got no gravity. But like in this movie, this whatever they want to call it, and the fight scenes made me want it called something not Roadhouse. It like all my anger about the movie comes from the fact that it's called Roadhouse and it's trying to ride the coattails of the original.
it's because you
If
love
it was
Roadhouse
its
so
own
much.
movie, if it was its own movie, it would have been fine.
and you call it Glass Key. That's the
Yeah.
name of the
Done.
movie instead of Roadhouse. And
See,
Dave would have been like, this movie was great.
I
9.5.
Nah,
I
I would
think
have
the
I would have still given it a 5.6. It's no
I-
Roadhouse.
think the slap fight is great, right? I think the end fight with Conor McGregor is fucking terrible, right? I think it's trash, right? Sure, the shot to the throat and kill the guy, fine. I'll give it to you. Great. That works for me as well, right? I didn't think the fighting in this movie lived up to what you were expected to get from it, right?
I
If
thought
you
there'd
would-
be a couple more fights. I thought there'd be a couple
Yes,
more
for
fights
sure.
that didn't
Well, I
happen.
mean,
but-
you watch that fight where where Knox comes in, right, with the club, right, and he's got three dudes holding him while the kid who's a amateur, like a pro-am boxer, is like, yeah, I did a little Golden Gloves, right? He's teeing off on his fucking stomach, and I'm like, and he just kicks him away, right? I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, dude. That's ridiculous.
He was
I
all
give it one
hopped up
thought.
on steroids during that movie, though, so that's why he looked so huge.
Oh,
He was
I
trying
agree.
to
Like,
he was trying to heal his leg, so he was on all the Jamba Juice.
well, this is something I said to Kevin, and then Kevin thought I was a little weird for it. I go, when you see Conor McGregor hop out of that Italian
Oh,
like
stud.
apartment, right?
Love
and
it.
he's walking down the way naked with his fucking like his loafers on, right? You can literally see that one of his legs is smaller, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, so like you could literally see it. Like, yeah, he's bare ass. It is what it is. By the
I
way,
was busy looking at his bum.
nice quads and nice glutes on that motherfucker.
oh
Right?
yeah, he's got
Where
great
did the
legs.
saying-
phone come out of? Like that was the other part about that scene.
It
I
was
couldn't
it
understand.
was in his
It's in his
sock.
sock. And when you
Oh.
first hear it ringing, you hear it ringing, and I thought to myself,
It's
"Oh,
up his
God.
ass.
It's up his ass."
his ass.
And then all of a
That's
sudden he
what-
just goes, bends over and pulls it out of his sock.
You
and I was
know,
like,
you know they would have never let that
Fantastic.
fly the UFC if he pulled that out of his asshole.
That'd be hilarious if he did, though.
I
no.
might like the movie.
It would have
better.
been better if it was like Danny Boy and he fucking pulled it out of his
And
asshole.
I
That
also
would've
brought up
been funny.
I also brought
He
up
just
this is the
zooms
fact
in on
that-
his face. He's like, "Hold on. Oh, how's it
I'm
going?
Lucky Charm.
Sorry, I'm not putting it too close to my face because it smells like shit."
He just
Knox-
came out of me pot of gold.
Knox doesn't know where the brake is on any fucking car that he drives.
This-
No.
Exactly, because he's
all
not
of
from
He just,
here.
he just drives them till he crashes them.
Yeah.
And he goes ahead and goes, "Oh, who put the fucking bikes in the way?" You know, you're like, "What the fuck, dude?" He
I also
crashes
want to
them.
know how he didn't shit his brains out after drinking about like 9 fucking coconuts. He should have shit his pants
Oh,
for days
sure.
after
Water.
drinking that much
No, it's
coconut
not.
water.
That MCT oil, the medium chain triglycerides that are in that, will like literally make you a river of shit.
Yeah.
It will like you will become the Merrimack of shit in your toilet. It will be destruction.
How do you even
Prove it.
know? You don't know. Yeah, you
Dude.
don't know.
Dude,
Dude, how
Hey,
many
so,
liquid
uh,
IVs did you drink?
That's true. John
Duggan,
did
I will
test the
fucking
liquid IVs.
prove this to you.
I
Right?
want you to crack open 10 coconuts and you drink them, and we'll all see what happens. 'Cause I
No,
don't
we'll
think
get-
you'll
You don't
see
even
it.
have to do that.
I'll
can
send
get
you a
medium
12-pack of Vita
MCT oil.
Coco.
Nope. No.
I
Nope.
love
We're playing
I'll
the
send you a
rules.
bottle
No,
of MCT.
This isn't what
Take a
was
tablespoon,
tested.
Duggan.
9 coconuts were tested, not some Vita Coco bullshit. We are drinking 9 coconuts, all of us, and we're gonna see who shits first.
No, we're not all drinking 9
Yeah.
coconuts. You're
Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
9 coconuts because you believe it's not going to make
I'll
you shit.
drink the Vita Coco. I'm
I
down with
can't
that.
drink
That
one
sounds so
coconut. I
good.
can barely have.
I will
You
give you
sponsored Duffy.
Taco
2
Bell.
tablespoons of MCT oil, and I will give you 30 minutes, and you will be a
No,
river
see,
of
that doesn't
fucking
count.
goo.
You're giving me you're giving me fentanyl when I want fucking pills. I'm talking. We're talking 2 different lingos. I'm talking coconut juice that is AKA water. And there's not much in those coconuts. None of those will not make you shit yourself. Nope,
Yes, it
sticking to it.
100%.
Both sides.
Fuck out
Nope.
of here! You're high.
Nope.
So I will.
I am
told
high,
you,
but no, that's
I will send you. I'll send you 9 coconuts.
And how do we know these swallows carried these coconuts? All right,
What kind of swallow?
Oh.
the coconut. swallow.
African or European?
Yeah.
I didn't like the last fight scene either. I agree with John. I think I don't know how to
He
describe
gets
it.
stabbed like 8 fucking times, twice in the upper chest here, in his lungs, right? And
I know.
And he's at the after credit scene. He just walks
Yeah,
away.
you guys
He
watch the
paid
post
for
credit
that.
scene?
He paid for that.
No.
He paid for that. That's a
There's a
fact.
post credit scene, Dave, where Knox after like all of a sudden you see people get like thrown around a fucking emergency room, and then Knox comes walking out like bleeding and like bare ass, just like walking out of doing
Again.
his walk out of the thing. So he's alive. So
See, but here's the one thing, right? You're gonna call the movie Roadhouse. And this is the thing that ends that last fight scene between the two. McGregor's throat should have been ripped the fuck out. I mean, if you're gonna call it Roadhouse, you got to have the most iconic.
He
moment
hasn't
in the
learned
fucking
that
movie.
move yet.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
saving
he hasn't
that.
learned
He's
that
saving that.
And this movie isn't called MacGruber, okay?
He should have done
I
it.
love it.
Well, but
McGregor
where
should
did
have had the
McGruber get
line
it
of
from? Goddamn.
McGregor should have the same line that the guy had in the old one, right? I fuck guys like you in prison.
Yep.
Great line.
That is a great line.
And then it would be like, I would be like, I believe it. Done. Let's go.
I want to
I
know.
will
at
say
that part,
the-
how did they not get like just like a quick glance, like, huh?
I will say the leg break in the original Roadhouse when that guy goes to do that kick and he gets it over the tree and he just goes and like bends it around the tree. Horrible. Like, why would you throw a kick there, dude? He's right next to the fucking tree.
Yep.
Even if you had missed and you hit the tree, like that would kill.
Well, I still think the arm break in the middle of the remake is insane because he has him bent and then all of a sudden he's just like
Oh yeah.
pop. Ugh. Ugh.
Yes,
The
love it.
finger breaks are pretty brutal too.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a great
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
I actually like that scene a lot.
You know why I think I like
Yeah,
this
Bob
movie?
Maneri. What's Bob Maneri doing in this movie? It was so wild to see him in there.
I'll tell you why I think I like this movie because I've watched a lot of like shit, like 80s like fight movies, like what's the American Ninja, Ninja and shit like that. And then I saw
Great movie.
the attempt at these movies in the early 2000s, like Never Back Down. That movie sucks. All
Great
right.
movie.
Fucking movie.
No,
Fuck
Never
you.
Back Down's
Terrible
terrible.
movie.
Oh, horrible.
This is like somebody had a good version of one of those movies, you know.
I'll give
And
you
I think-
that.
And I think that's why I like it because I'm like, I've seen so many of these bad ones that I'm like, you know what? This one's actually not that bad. I
You're
think
saying
this is
Tara Reid and American Pie good.
No.
if you're comparing it to other Tara Reid movies, then yes, this is peak Tara Reid.
Tara Reid. That's okay. That's how that sounded to me.
I also think the guy when he gets launched off that boat at the end of the movie, he's
horrible.
100 feet in the air.
Yeah.
100 feet in the air. He should
Fucking
wake
slams
up.
The roof.
He
Yeah.
should wake up and not be able to move. Like if he's alive, I would have liked it better if Jake Gyllenhaal finds him after he kills Conor McGregor on the roof, and he's just like, "Get me to a hospital." Like, but the fact that he comes down and tries to shoot him with a spear gun is
and he's inferior to Brad the Creeper Wesley that stares at people copulating across the lake.
that was his
Because,
dad.
He's just an inferior character, like across the board, like to that. I mean, look, I hated that. Like, it would have made more sense if they had him running drugs. Like that being real estate developer douchebag. He sucks.
You didn't like the Lex Luthor plot?
Who
Yeah,
the
no.
fuck is trying to get a straight razored shave on a choppy seas fucking boat?
I hated
What
that
in
scene.
The fuck
Yeah.
is
Hated
going
it.
on there?
I couldn't even
He's like-
watch it. I know it's a movie. I couldn't even watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I fast forwarded until I saw him go over and punch the fucking driver of the boat.
That's
That's
so
the driver's
funny.
fucking
It's
fault.
so
I couldn't do
funny.
it.
That's the point.
I know. I couldn't watch that scene though. It freaked me out.
It's supposed to be funny.
It would have been better if the razor slipped and he was dead, and then the dad got out of jail. Like, I'm just throwing that out there.
There you go. Yeah.
So
Did
so
you think
physics.
Did you even need the dad plot though?
No.
I feel like the dad plot was kind of
Yeah,
kind
because
of
he's
useless.
trying to compensate for his dad and all his debts. That's why he needs a real estate development to go off.
No. I understand that, but I mean, like,
It needed
You
the
did-
backstory for Big Dick.
ooh, Dave, did you just say that's part for the sequel?
Of
Yes.
course it is. They're planting seeds for the sequel. I'm pissed.
Because-
I don't want it, but they're
Because
doing it.
Knox is going to admit to killing his kid, and it's going to be again, Duffy. We talked about this.
It's going to be a buddy cop movie with Knox and fucking Dalton.
Yeah.
Big Dick is gonna get his big dick chopped off at the beginning of the sequel,
Mhm.
and he's gonna be the loser of the sequel, and then the dad's gonna be on a thing and he's gonna be pissed off at Knox and Dalton. And you're right, you're gonna get the Lucky Charms guy and like the emo Dalton, and that's the movie too.
I want the dad to be played by Chris Cooper.
Christopher Walken.
Stephen Shamrock.
I love Christopher Walken. I would pay anything to see him.
I want it to be John Cena. I mean, I think that'd be
Oh,
great.
John
Yes.
Cena.
John Cena.
He's in the third one as the bad guy.
He's Dalton's buddy. He's the one who's going to come up and be like, "Oh, Dalton, he was fucking blah blah blah." Like,
I
He's
think it'd be cool if
he's
he
the
showed up
one-
dressed as Peacemaker.
Hell yeah.
Sorry.
So one more thing, physics doesn't exist in this movie, because obviously,
It's in Florida.
I mean, here's a couple different things.
physics,
So
physics stops in Georgia.
That's why Jurassic World's gonna happen here. I get
does
it.
he get hit by that car on the bridge? The first time when it first comes at him forward, does he get hit,
I
or does
think
he
it
somehow
rushes him.
magically launch himself into a flip?
I think both.
I think it brushes him.
Because then he somehow ends up in the flatbed of this truck,
Right. That's
which also makes no
it
fucking
backs
sense.
at him. That backs at
Yeah,
him.
yeah, but he didn't jump. He would have ended up underneath it. Okay, fine. Then, how on God's green earth did he actually, while getting hit by the Zodiac boat, grab onto it somehow? How did he launch himself off of it to get onto the roof and climb
Never
down
done
into
that?
the other boat?
That collision with that second boat, he would have been
Okay.
broken in half. Like,
Yeah,
Dude,
there's
it's-
no way. And then at the same time, when Billy Magnuson climbs down from the roof that he got launched into because he went fucking GTA distance,
100 feet in the air. I mean,
he went. It was like he was in fucking GTA, and it launched him. He gets down from there, and then he forcefully, like as hard as he can, pushes him spine first into like that hard
oak
rail.
table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that not break his back?
It should
Physics
We
just
were-
doesn't fucking exist.
Correct me if I'm
Well,
wrong. At one
it's
point, we were
like-
talking about Swayze.
He's
jumping off a
indestructible. I
building,
don't even
right?
think he died from the next snap. He's going to be alive in the next movie.
What's more believable, that or ripping somebody's fucking throat out? Like,
MacGruber did it.
The trickier rip is a legit
don't you
thing.
fucking bring up MacGruber and try to compare that bullshit to fucking
real
this
fighter
classic.
did it.
Well, let's go back to the truck really quick, right? He falls into the water. That truck goes teeter, drops in. He's still swimming up to get to fucking surface. It comes straight down on his fucking dome. He's
It
dead.
misses him. It misses him.
He's
It wouldn't
salt
kill
water.
him.
He's
It's salt
dead.
It
water.
wouldn't kill him. That would not
Salt
kill
water.
him.
Buoyancy. Salt water.
Yeah, he would have been up at the top of the water, and it would have hit him in the head.
It landed on another sandbar.
Yeah.
Akbar.
Here's another comparison. Ready? So this is another reason why I think I like this movie. Okay, I'll admit I didn't love the beginning of the end. I think I said to Dave, did I say it's like 2 slices of shit bread with a okay meat and cheese in the middle, like
Something
it's
like
a
that,
sandwich.
yeah.
But it feels like a Fast and the Furious movie with maybe, because Gyllenhaal is a better actor, better acting. I think so. I think that's why I like it, because I don't mind.
That's what it's supposed
Fast
to
and
be.
the Furious
It's supposed to be like
movies,
that.
Fast and the Furious movies aren't good, but somehow every time I watch them, I'm like, I'm having a good time, and that's ultimately what I felt with this movie. So
That's exactly what this
the
movie was
closest-
supposed to be.
The closest I felt to having a good time with a Fast and the Furious movie was sitting in an SRT with you this morning.
that's true. My father-in-law's got a charger, and I took it to work today because he was working on my car. I gotta tell you, I've never wanted to like buy it as an adult. Like I need to get an American muscle car. But like I was driving that thing down the highway and it was like, brrr, and I was like, oh shit, you know what? I get the appeal of this.
Yeah, that you felt that little tingle in your nutsack, didn't you?
I did.
Like,
And then I had to shut the heater off, but I couldn't figure out how to do that.
you also couldn't see
They
where the
always
mileage
stay on
was
in
either
those vehicles.
because of the B. But like, I hopped off the Fast and Furious train ages ago, right? And I get that everybody sits there and goes, they're fantastic, right? They get more preposterous as they go on. And
They
Kevin
do.
has admitted that, right? And I can't watch shit like that. I can't.
Why?
It's
I
can watch a sci-fi movie for being sci-fi, right? When you sit there and say, this movie is about cars and robbing trucks, and then it
It's
goes to
not-
go into fucking space.
It's about
It's
family.
family. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
Smash
Listen,
that car through a
I
fucking
hate the
satellite
first. I
at
hate the first
24,000
three.
miles an hour.
I hate the first three Fast and the Furious movies. But
Those are the best ones. What are you
they
talking
are
about?
not. No way. This movie, they never got better than they did the fifth
Garbage.
one. The fifth one's the best one. Whether in Rio, that's the best one. After that,
mean,
the
that is a
movies
good
were
one.
like, they consistently were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Crazy shit. These guys are good guys now, and just go along with it. And since
The
then,
first two are
I
amazing.
like them, and because of that, I like this Roadhouse movie. So, Duggan,
Dude, you
this is
and
a
I talked
movie I
about the
would have
magnet
trashed
shit,
had I not had this. Had I not had my acceptance of the Fast and the Furious movies. So
I just
Movie
think that
terrible.
it needed to be more gung ho for the guys. It needed to be more fucking brutal. I think.
I think it needed tits and a little bit more fight scenes.
Yeah,
I
concur.
know
Definitely
that,
tips.
sure.
And I wouldn't have done Post Malone in the beginning. I think that threw me off. It should, like any two guys, unnamed actors fighting in the middle of that thing. You didn't need
That was
Post
also
Malone.
paid for too.
The
I
movie
know, but I didn't need him there. He threw me out of it because I said, well, that's fucking Post Malone. He would definitely lose that.
Could've been
No,
Heath
that was
Jardine, it
Austin
could've been
Post.
anybody.
Didn't you read the credits?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
movie
They
goes
needed
from-
somebody who looked like a criminal that they could pay because Amazon wasn't sure what money they were gonna make.
They should have got Danny Trejo. Would've-
No fucking way. That guy would have got fucking bitch smacked in the sand.
He's a real criminal.
He's a real geriatric.
also true at this
That's
point.
true. You're right. You're right. But
All right. Are we going to do a final voting?
yeah,
I can name
do a
5
rating
people
scale.
I could have done to replace that guy. 5,
Yeah.
right off the top of my head.
All right, John. Well, instead of that, why don't you give us your rating of this movie? One
just
1 out of
did.
10.
5.
Oh, okay. I thought you were actually
No,
saying
no,
you
it's a
thought you-
legitimate middle of the road movie, right? Yeah, it has its positives, right? But it's highly weighed up. It's got way more negatives to it. I don't know what to say. Like it could have been done better, right? Even if you take Conor McGregor's acting at face value, like being like he's never done this before, I sit there and go, yeah, he has some shit that's funny, right? But like, it doesn't make up for the rest of the fucking movie being hot garbage. I'm sorry. I hope there's a sequel. I really enjoy the fact that there's a hot garbage movie that I'm going to enjoy later on, right? Rebel Moon 2, right? And I can't wait. You know,
Hang on, wait. Before we move on to anyone else, do you agree that this is a better movie than Rebel Moon?
Yes.
Okay. Good. That's all.
Yeah.
You say that with hesitancy, fucking.
It's
makes
got
me
a
wanna
better
smack
fucking
my
story.
goddamn computer.
No. Rebel Moon's like Tara Reid at the end of her career, and this is like American Pie Tara Reid.
It's got more backstory and a better story than Rebel Moon.
So you're gonna give it 5 Tara Reeds.
I'm gonna give it 5 Tara Reids.
5 Tara Reid.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right, Dan.
I'm going to give it 7 Tara Reeds plus her left leg.
Okay. 7 Tara Reeds plus her left leg.
So
You
So I guess like a 7.25.
okay. Overall, you enjoyed this movie then.
I enjoyed it very much to the
Okay.
point that I watched it a second time
Okay.
within the weekend.
There you
I
go.
watched it twice. I liked it.
You even said you thought it was better than the first Roadhouse.
I
which
did.
is- there you go. All right. 7.5 Tara Reid. So we're hovering right around
No,
6-ish.
7.25.
7.25. Okay. Dave, how many Tara Reids?
oh, you really want to go with me before Duggan? I mean,
Yeah.
so
I'm going negative, positive, negative, and then we'll
oh, okay. So the Gyllenhaal Roadhouse with the homeless guy, like that comes out of nowhere with no credentials.
He's not homeless.
It gets a
see.
2.
He's
It
homeless.
gets a 2.
A 2?
If it was the Glass Key, then it's a 5. But unfortunately, it's not the Glass Key. It's Roadhouse, They tried to fucking give me all the nostalgia and tried to. Sorry, it can't even hold the jockstrap of Patrick Swayze's dead ghost. It is a fucking 2. It sucks.
Oh wow,
Technically,
harsh.
technically,
there's enjoyable things in it. I'm not going to say it's all bad. I wouldn't be mad about a sequel, mainly because hopefully they call it something else, and then I don't have to this.
It'll be Roadhouse
But I'm sorry, it's not Roadhouse. It's just UFC fighter in a random Florida bar. The right name for this movie could have been Florida Man. Fucking give Netflix the money.
Florida Man.
I would watch that so fucking hard.
It's a better movie. But I'm sorry, by making it the Roadhouse, by ripping off the original in places, but not in a good way, 2.
Okay. All right.
Technically, he is homeless, by the way, because his home car gets hit by a fucking train.
Yep.
He's a nomad. He's not homeless.
Which makes you homeless.
That's what a nomad is.
No, nomad goes from place to place. Dave, read a book.
It's on a boat now. It's called The Boat.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like
He's
that.
back to being a nomad. He's homeless.
That'll
like
be the
The
name
Boat.
of the sequel. The Boat.
Duggan,
I like
what are you
Florida
gonna give
Man
this?
for a movie, though. We should create that fucking movie.
Isn't
Just-
Florida
hell
Man a
yeah.
TV
Florida
show
Man.
already?
It was on Netflix, yeah.
No, that's about fucking some bullshit. We're talking about Florida Man who does crazy things.
All right, Duggan, how many Tara Reeds are you gonna give this movie?
0 Tara Reeds. I'm giving it 5. Conor McGregor's.
You're giving it a 5?
I'm giving it
Out of
5
10.
Conor McGregor's.
5 out of 10?
Is that like 10 on a Tara Reid scale?
It's like an 8.
Okay.
All that shit talk. And
Doug,
like,
I
I'm
gotta
not even
do
gonna
a
give it
math
10. It's like a
textbook, 'cause I have
solid.
no idea what the fuck
Well,
you're
no,
doing.
I'm a fucking realist. I know what I was expecting. I'm disappointed that, like I said originally, I'm disappointed that it didn't have more of the kick-ass shit. UFC clearly was involved in the making of this movie, or else they wouldn't have Conor McGregor. They could have found anybody to fucking do this. So clearly it was a Conor McGregor thing. Clearly the UFC was involved. That's why all that shit happened. But yeah, they could have definitely had some titties. It was an Amazon thing. I mean, they fucking had fuck scenes in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They could have at least done that. Or they could have had some more killings. They could have had Jake Gyllenhaal fight more, I think. And unfortunately, Dave is so hooked on the old one. I agree in this point that they really just used the name Roadhouse for the name Roadhouse. I mean, yeah, they did have comparisons, which is all good and fine. But the reality is that this was a movie meant for dudes to go out and fucking just see the shit kicked out of somebody, just like UFC is. And I kind of think they missed the boat on that. They could have definitely done a lot more. Especially, I love UFC. I love seeing people fight. I love all the shit. I get all the big pay-per-views, and they definitely could have done it. I mean, Conor McGregor's acting is Conor McGregor's acting. He's an Irish guy who isn't educated. He's a fighter, so I didn't have any expectations for that. But yeah, so hopefully they come up with the second one. I think that would be a good idea. I think building towards the Roadhouse would be a good idea, especially where, now what Dave said earlier about social media, now this could get traction, random UFC fighter helps, disavow fucking drug ring or whatever, and he moves on to the next step. And so it almost has like that Reacher touch where then the essence of his name just follows him throughout the country.
Yeah. Okay. So 8. 8 for you. 8.5, would you say? 8 or 8.5? 8?
Give it an 8.5.
8.5. Okay. I think for me, probably about a 6.5. 6.5. I think I expected so little from it because the trailer, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. This looks like it's going to be bad. That's why I thought the trailer made it look like it was going to be bad. And ultimately, like I said, with the end and the beginning, I had the most problems with. I thought it got silly at the end. The fucking Enter Sandman playing at the fight to cap off that fight. I was like, what
But
choice is this?
That was his entrance music when he was in the UFC.
Was it? They did that in the flashback?
Yes.
Oh,
Kevin,
see, I didn't even hear
pay
that. But
attention.
even still, I don't like that. I don't like that it kicked in again. I love Metallica, and I was like, come on, what is this doing on here? But yeah, I hated the beginning and I hated the end. But like I said, in the middle of that movie where I was just following Jake Gyllenhaal around, I'm like, he's pretty cool. I like his character until he goes psycho. pretty quick. But Dalton does that in the old one too, but there's more of a reason for it. But ultimately 6. I had fun with the middle of this movie. I think, like Dave, maybe if it wasn't called Roadhouse, it might have bumped it up to a 7 for me. I don't think it would have gone much higher because like I said before, I don't love the original Roadhouse anyways. I like it. I don't love it. So it didn't have to do much to win me over. It just needed to be entertaining. And the middle of this movie was entertaining for me. I thought the actors did good with what they had. Even Conor McGregor, who was half the time. I mean, I never had to watch any like Game of Thrones or any movie or show where someone is talking with a foreign accent or an Irish accent or an English accent. I never have trouble following along. There were times where he was talking, I was like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah, he's got a thick throat for sure. Dude, the funniest fucking thing when he walked into the mansion, he goes, "Where the fuck is everybody?" That was the funniest fucking
I laughed.
shit.
I laughed out loud.
So did I.
It was very funny, but
So I did the math. Average is a 5.85, which gives us a 58.5%. Rotten Tomatoes has the tomato meter for critics at 61% and the audience score at 56%. So we fall smack dab in the middle of that
look
shit.
at that.
Wow.
You see? That's pretty
So
good.
my
I think
cue
we
kept
fell
you guys
exactly
honest.
where it
You
should.
guys are all like inflating the shit out of this garbage.
If I wanted to inflate it, I
I
would
was
have
pretty honest with it.
I'm not gonna lie. The audience has it at 51.
56.
That's surprising to me that the audience, because like I said, the audience usually are
Dude, that
idiots.
is every Conor McGregor. That is every
There's more
Conor
people
McGregor
like
dick
me out
rider
there. They're
ever.
probably just hate scoring the fuck out of this thing because it called itself Roadhouse.
You might be right, but all right, that's gonna do it for our review of Roadhouse. That's gonna do it for our episode 19 Random Things podcast. Do us a huge favor, everybody. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel. We've been growing steadily. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by midsummer movie season, so you can help us get there.
Yeah.
Check out Dan's first trailer reaction he did today for the Fall Guy. It's pretty good. Give that
Great
video a
trailer.
like. Help him.
Hell
Let him know.
yeah.
Let him know he did a good job. Give it a like.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're gonna be back next week with another one of these, and we'll catch you later. See you later. Bye.